You've got a unique perspective on this game, having coached against this team recently. What did you learn in the bowl game, and do you see anything different now with this team?
I learned they have a quarterback that's played a lot of football. It's hard to trick him. He's seen a bunch of things. He can make checks. He's one of those guys, he can truly hurt you with his arm, with his legs, and with his brain. And so very accurate, very tough, very fast. He has a supporting cast around them that have been together a long time. His receiving core, the running back. So I think they're a group that's very mature. They all came back. They're on a mission. They've had a lot of success. And I think playing them last time just, tells you how much you got to respect what they do schematically, how hard and well they're coached, and how well he can execute under pressure, under zone. He just sees it a lot. So you're dealing with a very capable group, very smart quarterback, one of the best in the country.
The secondary is obviously taking some significant hits. Obviously, Chris Keys added onto that this week. What do you think has just allowed this group to sort of keep together through that, basically, and the depth that's kept you going?
I think just this what you said, it's depth. We have a lot of guys that have played a lot of football. We rotate guys all the time. They've done that for the last couple of years. So a lot of those guys, even though they may be a backup, they've played a bunch of football for us. We really have 3 starters at the corner spot to begin with. And when you had rolled Chris Keys in, there's guys that have played corner that we've moved to play nickel that can go back and play corner. So I think we have some flexibility in that group. Getting some guys back from injury will help as well in the secondary this week. So I'm looking forward to seeing those guys compete. A lot of things for those guys, the situation's not too big. They've played a bunch of ball, and so I think the way we've repped them, the way we've built up over the years, I think those guys are ready to go.
Yeah, 3 takeaways, all on fumbles. A little surprising considering how well you guys were in interceptions last year. Do you see it as maybe quarterbacks being a little careful? What do you see on film with regards to that?
I think when guys are covered, they don't get it. I think our guys have done a great job of being in position on balls. Now we've missed probably, in the last 2 games, we probably missed 3 takeaway opportunities by taking the ball to the air. Josh missed one the other night that went right through his hands. So I think it's a product of how we're playing a little bit right now. The teams we've played, the run emphasis that, an odd team like Iowa put on. But at the same time, it's something we're always stressing. We got to do better to get more of them. Those are game-changing plays that help set up our offense to make plays, and we got to do a better job of taking it out the air.
You've thrown a couple of kind of odd fronts with, I think, like Jaron, Ryder, a big defensive tackle, and then a linebacker at the end in both of these games. Not necessarily specific to that, but, is that maybe reflective of the skill level and the athleticism that you can trust kind of going with some stuff that's a little different, some stuff that probably, fits up odd for an offensive line and maybe causes a little bit of confusion there and lets you just use personnel packages that might just kind of trick an offense?
I don't know if it's about tricking the offense more as it is about us playing to our strengths in certain situations on the field based on their personnel, based on down and distance. We're able to get a different lineup of guys on the field, whether that's for pass rush, for coverage, whether it's bringing in 5 or 6 DBs, whether it's bringing in 2 defensive ends and a backer that plays a different spot. It's a way for us to be multiple. It's a way for us to be versatile based on the D&D. And when you have guys, you want to find ways to get, when they go fast, when they put a lot of speed guys on the field, you want to be able to match that. So for us, it's just about being multiple and taking what the offense gives us and allows us to get some of our playmakers on the field situationally as the game rolls on.
I asked Taiwan this same question about Tom Allen talked in the past about when the offense may not be playing at its best, the defense should be stepping up and kind of taking over. And I guess how as the defensive coordinator do you see your role doing that, especially in a game like an opponent like Cincinnati that's really strong on both sides of the ball and with an offense that's still trying to find its footing a little bit, kind of what role you see for the defense facing a quarterback like Desmond?
Well, for us defensively, it starts with our job is to get the ball back to our offense, regardless of what the score in the game is. We're here to get the ball back to them. So for us as a mentality, we want to be able to do that. We don't want the situation, the game, the scoreboard to dictate how we play. Every time we take the field, our goal is to get the ball back to our offense. So for us, we want to have opportunities to set our offense up to go score. You look in the game the other day, what was the second drive, sack, fumble. Those are the kind of plays we need to make on defense, regardless of the situation, opponent, or whoever we're facing. So that's our mentality the whole time. The faster we can get off the field, the faster our offense can get the ball back and go do something with it. So for us, that's our mentality. We want to be effective. We want to create havoc. We want to take the ball away, and we don't want to be on the field for long periods of time, giving the other offense sustained drives.
I know it's Georgia's defense, but when it comes to film watching and note taking and that, when you watch that Georgia-Cincinnati game, I'm curious like how it works for you in regards to, can you tell how Cincinnati reacts to certain things that Georgia does that you would want to do? I mean, is there much of a correlation or anything from that?
I think, we normally do just in general the last 5 games the opponent played. And we do a breakdown. So we're looking at 5 to 6 games, and it's more about not necessarily the last 5 that played are the most similar to our style of defense. And so when you go into a breakdown, that's what you start with. And then from there, you go out into the other games they played the previous year. So we'll look at 12 to 14 games when it's all said and done to see tendencies by down and distance, by personnel, by formation, and we'll formulate a game plan. So watching that game, watching the 2 games they played this year, they all give us clues into what we can expect based on what we would do. So you try to find like schemes, that we would play with, that they have played against, that we would fit the bill for. So all those games help. I mean, but again, like I said, this is a very experienced quarterback who's seen a ton, and it's going to really come down to us executing and making plays, winning some 50-50 balls and taking the ball away to give us a chance to win the game. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day.